Hello and welcome to another episode of the Gym City Gridiron Roundup podcast. I am your host, Dalton Vadenpelt. As always, with me, I have the Commissioner, Zachary Donut Stewart.
Well, don't you wish you were me getting a win this week? This week all the games are pretty much decided going into the podcast, which is not something we normally have. I think all the games are officially done now after Eckler scored. So, yeah, let's get going.
No, they're not done yet.
Patrick's not up.
Drew's game is not done yet.
Oh, okay. He's got Herbert, so he should be almost close to being done though.
You should be all right.
Yeah.
All right. We have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking out the Tennessee Titans.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a back-to-back good performance from Will Levis. He did sling the ball pretty effectively. However, he did not get the job done. Derrick Henry with the big day in fantasy, and DeAndre Hopkins is serviceable. I'm sure everyone started him after his monster week. He did have 11 targets, so that is positive. Kenny Pickett, ouch, does not look good. Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren were both top 24 running backs this week, and Deontay Johnson finds the end zone, stealing all the production away from George Pickens.
You know, a fun fact is that's Deontay Johnson's first touchdown since Ben Roethlisberger.
Holy cow.
It's been like 600 days since Deontay Johnson's been in the end zone. He had no touchdowns last year at all.
He played with Ben.
Really? Yeah, it's one of his most productive years.
Yeah.
So Ben could throw it like 4 yards down the field. Only 4 yards down the field.
What year did Ben retire?
2017.
What?
Oh, no, 2019.
Okay. So that means Deontay played 1 year with him.
Maybe it was 2020, COVID year. Because this is Pickett's second year.
Yeah.
But either way, it's been that long since he scored a touchdown.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson, this is what he was been supposed to do all year long. It's what he did last year, catching 8 for 80, 9 for 90. This is kind of how he rolls. But does finally get in the end zone for the first time in a very, very long time. Again, no touchdowns last year. So it was, about 2 years ago since he had a touchdown. Levis looked fine. I mean, he just didn't get the touchdowns. That's kind of how it goes. He did lead him down the field at the very end to try to get a touchdown at the end. Obviously, they did not get that. That Pittsburgh defense is pretty tight. So that's how they win a lot of games. Obviously, because their quarterback play is atrocious.
Roethlisberger's last season was 21, so you're right in saying that Pickett has been the starter for 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just wild.
All right. The Colts take out the Panthers. Pretty easy to predict game there, I believe. Jonathan Taylor steals the backfield officially from Zach Moss. Zach Moss's time in the limelight is through. Michael Pittman catches every ball that is thrown in his direction, which is great. And Bryce Young throws 3 interceptions. That's pretty much it. Chuba Hubbard is now the number 1 in Carolina as well, supplanting Miles Sanders.
2 of those were pick sixes. That's the difference of the ball game, honestly. Yeah, by the same guy. Yeah, it's kind of fun to watch. They're a mess, Panthers.
That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah, not a whole lot. The Colts just ran the ball. Zach Moss did get playing time, but it's still Jonathan Taylor's backfield. But they didn't really have to do a whole lot. They just ran the ball down their throat.
Clayton Tune gets tuned up by the Browns defense. That'll be it for him this year, you would think, barring injury from Kyler.
Yep.
As another player we'll talk about later does get traded away from the Cardinals. Clayton Tune does get the start. It has already been announced that Kyler will get the start this week unless he has setbacks in practice, which is very unlikely because he's been practicing in full for the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, almost a win-win for Josh Dobbs. I mean, he kind of did good things in Arizona, but he's expendable at the trade deadline. because another team needed a quarterback. So he showcased his talents pretty well. The Cardinals get some draft capital from a guy they picked up, that they picked up like right before the season started, and they get a late round pick swap. And yeah, Josh Dobbs does it again, man.
Vintage Amari Cooper day, so that's cool.
Yeah. Sean Watson was back. Looked pretty decent. Granted, it was the Cardinals, but he's back in the offense and getting things running. Ford had an okay game. Chubb gets in the end zone, but yeah, Amari Cooper and David Njoku are pretty much the targets through the air.
All right. Nothing really else happens in this game. Jerome Ford looked not efficient. Kareem Hunt does find the end zone to seal the win at the end of the game.
Yeah. I don't know if he needs to be to seal it, and he won pretty easily.
That's true. All right. Moving on, the Packers and the Rams square off. It was nowhere close for the Rams. The Rams just kept missing field goals over and over again, which was really frustrating. They just could not get the ball moving with Brett Ripien. He does have the NFL pedigree, but he could not do anything.
Yeah, man. If you go back and I know I'm jumping ahead, but looking at the quarterback play, going into week 9, you're like, man, we got some good, good teams. And man, just listing off some of these quarterbacks. No offense to Josh Dobbs. You have Josh Dobbs, Taylor Heineke's in at quarterback, T-Bag from the Bears. You got Brett Rippin. You got, we got we were just going to talk about Clayton Tune. We have Gardner Minshew, Tommy DeVito, Aiden O'Connell. Just a shit show of quarterback play right now. And that's why all these games are just such low totals. And it's just not good football. It's kind of nice to have one of these top tier quarterbacks because, people are struggling to find quarterback play, at least in fantasy, but even just on a weekly basis. Where I don't know if we're going to see Tommy DeVito again because Daniel Jones just tore his ACL. Yeah, it's bad quarterback play is here to stay for a few more weeks.
All right. Puka Nacua does get banged up in this game, so look on the practice reports for an update on him. Aaron Jones does also return in this game, or was he back last week?
He was back last week.
Okay, he did have a nice day, so that was good to see.
Yeah.
All right, Houston and Tampa Bay, the most dominant performance from a rookie quarterback of all time happens in this game, and the Houston Texans do find a way to win. This game was back and forth. This game was exciting.
It was very exciting.
Mike Evans gets banged up, if I remember correctly.
No, he played most of the game. He just had a rough day. But no, that game was probably one of the most fun games to watch on Sunday. Just Baker and CJ Stroud just throwing blow for blow. Rachaad White getting a lot of stuff done. K. Dotton catches 2 touchdowns. But the Texans, man, CJ Stroud throws 5 touchdowns, 470 yards, 2 to Tank Dell, 1 to Schultz, 1 to Nico Collins, and I think 1 to Noah Brown. Just a monster day for all these guys. And, Baker comes down and with about 2 minutes to go and scores at what would be everyone thought the game-winning touchdown. But CJ Stroud goes down the field in about a minute and just caps it off at the very end. But the highlight of the game was Kaimi Fairbairn got hurt, and Dare Agumbawale is the emergency kicker, and they didn't kick many extra points. They didn't kick any extra points.
They went for 2 after the kicker went out.
But he hit a 29-yard field goal to give them the lead to go up 33. 33-30.
Kick.
Oh man, it was awesome to watch. awesome to watch. But yeah, that game was really fun to watch.
Seven
Texans got something
thirty.
special with CJ Stroud.
Yeah, he's pretty great. 7:30 in Frankfurt, Germany. Patrick Mahomes does just enough to take care of the Miami Dolphins. The first half of this game was a snooze fest, which was unfortunate because this was supposed to be the shootout that everyone was looking for.
Well,
They
they were on freaking plane for 12 fucking hours. I mean, why? I hate these international games, man. They're so flat when they come off the plane. I mean, that's why you get Patrick Mahomes throwing for 185 yards, Tua for 187 yards. Like it's a lousy product that they're putting over there. Like in my opinion, like yeah, it's great they're gonna sell seats, whatever, but the product is terrible. Like legitimately.
Miami Miami does try to scratch back in this one, does have an opportunity to do so, but fails to.
Yeah. The Chiefs defense came to play. So I think if anything comes out of these London games, I'm going to play defenses out of these games because the offenses are just so flat. We've seen
All
it
right,
we've seen it in 3 games now this year. So
moving on, Teabag does try to get the win. However, the Saints do pull away at the end. Taysom Hill with another monster performance, which you love to see. Alvin Kamara cannot rush the ball, but he is a receiver more than anything. Olave finds the end zone. Deontay Foreman with a boatload of carries doesn't really do much with it. And Cole Kmet finds the end zone 2 times.
yeah, that Taysom, it's going to burn what players bad one of these days. I mean, it's all fun and dandy now, but it's going to be one of those days where you get 5 carries for 9 yards, and that's the way but that's tight ends anyway. So
Yeah, you
I
boom
mean,
busted any. What's the difference?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
there's
Like,
no
um,
there's no difference.
not to toot my own horn, but I basically have fallen into tight end nirvana every week. My tight ends are just going off out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Rookie and a Taysom Hill. All of a sudden, I don't know which one to pick, but it doesn't really matter because they both
Well, Ferg
are
isn't a
top 10
rookie.
tight ends.
He's
Yeah.
a second. He's a rookie. I thought he's a second-year player.
Yep. Nope. Rookie.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I mean, you can double check me, but I'm 95% sure he's a rookie.
I thought it. I'm pretty
Moving
sure.
on, while he looks this up, I will burn the Commanders. Patriots. The Commanders do take the victory. Oddly, they're still alive in the division now at 4-5, which is weird. The Patriots fall to 2-7, which you
2022.
hate to see. So he's not a rookie.
Round 4, 2022. So he's a second-year player.
Brian Robinson finds the end zone early. Curtis Samuel did not play in this game, which meant that Terry McLaurin and Jahan Dotson split the target share. Ramondre Stevenson does get some work in the passing game, which is helpful.
Yeah.
He does also find the end zone, and I believe there was a Antonio Gibson sighting, serviceable
Yeah.
flex performance.
Yeah. Brian Robinson fumbled. You know what happens with Ron Rivera. If you fumble, you're going to sit on the bench for a little bit. So Gibson did get a little work. Jahan Dotson, that's 3 games in a row, with a decent target share and targets and getting in the end zone. So kind of look for that in these next few weeks as they've kind of started honing in on Dotson as well as McLaurin. But they're just they're willing to throw the ball right now. So
The Las Vegas Raiders, led by a former New York Giant, take care of the New York Giants. Antonio Pierce, huge day for his coaching debut. They thwomp the New York Giants. Obviously, starting Tommy DeVito, they started Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones goes down with a knee injury. He is done for the year, unfortunately. He just got done signing a 4-year deal, the Giants, and hopefully he's back next year.
Yeah, he'll be back sometime next year. It's kind of that fine line. Is he gonna it is it's pretty much November. It's about the time Kyler tore his ACL last year, so it may take a little bit of time. So folks that have like in Dynasty, I mean, obviously you're going to hold them because that's Dynasty, but yeah, man, they're bad. And man, Tommy DeVito got in the game 2 different times this last 2 weeks. Man, yikes.
Um, are there any other options for the Giants besides DeVito?
Carson Wentz. That's the only other guy I can
Pick
think
him up
of.
off the street. Screw it. You're already 2-7.
No offense, like I'm not the biggest Carson Wentz fan, but you can't tell me Carson. I mean, maybe it's a locker room thing. Like it probably is. But like you can't tell me Carson Wentz isn't better than Tyson Bagent, Brett Rippon, you
I think I'd
know,
rather have Teabag. He looked really good.
Tommy DeVito, um, Zach Wilson. I mean, I'll keep throwing Zach Wilson under the bus. It's fun. Um, I mean, I get Josh Dobbs and Taylor Heineke. Heineke's proven it, and Dobbs is just fun to fucking watch. But yeah, he's the only guy I can think about. I really wish the Saints would have traded Jameis to one of these teams, but neither here nor
He's
there.
just gonna back up for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Because they're not gonna drop him because he's too valuable to
No.
have on the roster still.
Yeah, that's why they didn't trade him.
All right. The Baltimore Ravens take care of business against the Seahawks.
Man,
The
Geno's look
Ravens. Yeah,
Geno's look
that's a
bad.
tough defense. The Ravens defense has been really hot the last couple of weeks.
But just in general, like they haven't been very good.
The Ravens might sneak themselves into a Super Bowl playing like this. They're just insanely efficient. Nobody's really playing with them. I can't
Yeah.
even think of who they lost to, but they are rolling right now.
Yeah. They are rolling. Definitely.
Gus Edwards finds the end zone 2 times, and
Mhm.
Keaton Mitchell, undrafted free agent, has a big day.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of
One big
garbage
run.
time. Yeah, he had a run of 60 and a run of 40. One of those was for a touchdown. So, and then I mean, Tyler Huntley throws a touchdown in garbage time as well. So, I mean, they were walloping the Seahawks. So they didn't waste Justice Hill, they didn't waste Gus Edwards. They just kind of said we'll throw the rookie in there and even the backup quarterback. Off topic, the Panthers lost to. They lost to. That's preseason. They lost to the Steelers. And
You're talking about the Ravens?
The Ravens. The Ravens lost to the Steelers.
Yeah.
And they have one loss or two. And they lost two.
You said Panthers at the beginning, so I was very confused. But who is their other loss?
The Colts.
Oh, okay.
That was an overtime. That was the Anthony Richardson boom game.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So those are the two losses. Colts by 3, Pittsburgh by 7. Yeah.
All right. Nothing really else to speak on this Baltimore game. Their defense is hot. They are rolling. They're very efficient. They are dangerous.
Dangerous.
The Minnesota Vikings beat the Falcons. One of the most exciting games of the day. I also was today years old when I learned that Arthur Smith is the son of the founder of FedEx.
It took you that long? Man, they talk about it all the fucking time.
Do they? I just saw it on Instagram today. But Josh Dobbs comes in
brat.
for the injured Jaron Hall and leads the comeback. Taylor Heineke does get the start as we expected, which I believe is a win in the bet for me.
Yep. What a good line.
He looked good.
Yeah, he looked fine.
Bijan Robinson
nothing
is still getting Arthur Smith. Kyle Pitts somehow has a manageable day, even though he also got Arthur Smith.
When Drake London, not even in the game, like, God, he hates everybody so much. Like, oh, let's just feature Jonnu Smith. Let's go 5 for 100 in touchdowns and run end arounds with him. And let's run Tyler Algier up the middle for -4 yards. Like,
and then give him the touchdown.
Yeah. Like, it's just, he just hates us. And I think he's going to, I really hope they implode so much that they just implode the back half of the season and they just fire his ass.
He likely will be gone because they're going to move on from Desmond Ridder and scrap that whole plan. And as we know, coaches attach themselves to quarterbacks. So
Yeah.
all right. Unless he moving to Heineke and getting off Ritter, they start to get some wins with Heineke, then it might change. But
God, please don't.
Hawkinson, heavily targeted in this game. Obviously, there was a shortage at weapons. Plus, you had that rookie quarterback, and then Joshua Dobbs coming later. Hawkinson does get banged up. I believe it was a ribbed injury, but he did come back into the game. He will likely still play next week.
Mm-hmm.
And rough day for Cam Akers. Just keeps getting worse for him. He does tear his Achilles, which unfortunately there's been way too many Achilles injuries so far this season. He is done.
His other one too.
It might be career ending
Yeah.
due to his lack of production and then this injury. And then KJ Osborne was also, I believe, carted off the field.
They brought the stretcher up, but he ended up getting up and walking off.
Okay. Garrett Wilson or Zach Wilson just got sacked by the Chargers.
You got me excited. I was hoping for a Garrett Wilson touchdown. I need one of those today.
Okay.
That's what happens when you tie yourself to fucking Zach Wilson. God damn it.
America's game of the week. The NFL memes account is always quick to say, I'm just checking to see if y'all still them boys. The Dallas Cowboys piss away a golden opportunity to win the game at the end due to sloppy play penalties and sacks.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun game. Dallas
Super
is
good game.
right in there. They kind of remind me of the last year's game when they played each other late in the season. Like they both have high-powered offenses, both have really good defenses. So those games are going to be close. But yeah, CeeDee Lamb, another great game.
I think there were still questions on how good Philadelphia was last year. So when they came up against Dallas, Dallas was seen as the better team. I think the script is flipped this year. I do think the Eagles have a better roster than the Cowboys. That's evident by the performance as well as the record. But yeah, it was cool to see CeeDee Lamb have another monster game.
Yeah. AJ Brown does AJ Brown things. Like not the 125 yards, but still finds the end zone.
He cooked.
Still cooking folks.
Oh yeah, he cooked. He was open all day. They just didn't throw it very much. Obviously, 17 of 23 for Jalen Hurts, but that was the game plan. They were trying to burn the clock, which is hilarious because that's normally Dallas's thing. But Dak has been so hot that it looked like they were just like, screw it, we're going to open up the offense. We need to outscore them. Then they were getting a lot of penalty yards too. The Eagles kept holding in the defensive backfield. So that was nice. So Dallas just kept moving the ball, but their red zone offense is atrocious.
Yeah, it's bad. They need a little bit more help.
I almost feel like McCarthy should look himself in the mirror and be like, all right, you guys got any ideas in the red zone? Because clearly I don't.
Yeah,
but we already know he's not going to do that because that's not who he is.
Why don't you let Dak call the plays in the red zone?
Maybe he does.
But
I doubt it.
We've seen this before. Like it's a power struggle. That's why him and Rodgers never got along, even though they won a Super Bowl. That's why. He ousted Kellen Moore last year. Like power struggle.
Moving. I do believe I did hit all of the games. I take care of business against Stewart. Stewart falls to 2-7. Obviously, we had already pronounced him dead. I moved to 6-3. Shockingly, I had all the tiebreakers last week. I did not realize that until I was looking at the standings earlier yesterday.
Looks like we're gonna have 4 6-4 teams because 2 of those 5-3 teams lost. So we're still gonna have a 4-way tie at the top.
The tiebreakers will be completely different too. So it's possible I'm not the 1 seed.
Yeah. I'm hoping I creep up there.
Moving on, we had Heath drop 161, which right now does sit as the Skins winner against Blaster, who falls to 4-5. Blaster was sitting in 7th place going into this week. He is still well alive.
Good game for him. He had a nice day for him. He played Tank Dell. Tank Dell.
He had the stack.
Well, and he benched Amari Cooper because Amari's been dog. the last couple of weeks. So
Yeah, you don't know when Amari Cooper's the new Deshaun Jackson. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, big, nice game from Heath. Yeah, that's going to be the skid winner this week. Um, yeah. I take down Luke, which is great. I played Luke in both leagues this week. I played him in the Dynasty League, beat him there. Played him in Gem City, beat him there. So good week in the Stewart household for me. So should be fun. Something fun to talk about when I see him in a few weeks.
Patrick takes down Sackett. Big win for Patrick. He
Big,
claws
big
himself
win.
back into
Back in.
playoff
Yep.
consideration.
4-5. Yep. Big win
4
for
and
him.
5 is big.
3 wins in a row now for Patrick.
I think I had pronounced him dead, but you win 3 win in a row and you're back one game below 500 and you still have a shot. Very legitimate shot.
I mean, reminder last year, Sackett started 0-3 and won 11 in a row. So, I mean, it's possible. I mean, granted, it's different, but people find their hot streaks he got Eckler back. Mixon's been doing well. He finally found a QB that can give him 17 to 25 a week. Kamara's been hot since he returned. Yeah, so he's been making some good decisions. So good for him. He's to 4-5. Sackett now drops to 4-5.
It is not over yet, but has all but wrapped up victory against Cole, dropping Cole to 3-6, which is a huge blow for Cole. That is now 4 losses in a row.
Mm-hmm.
His team was looking very dangerous, and now not so much.
Yeah, he had bye week issues this week. Like everyone on his team was bye or listed out. So Lean gets off the schneid, Bennett gets off his 5-game losing streak to get to 3-6. But Lean, overall, Lean still had a tough, Puka's not been performing. Rashad White's been a bright spot. If he can get all these guys to pop off, he's got a good team. So he should be getting Justin Jefferson back in a few weeks, but Waller just went on IR. Still don't know why he has Anthony Richardson, but it looks cool on your bench.
All right. Drew has still not won the game against Brinkman.
He needs 26 yards of passing.
Right, because it's 0.04 per yard, yeah?
Yep. 0.04 per yard. So he's down 1.02. So he needs just a hair, which there's a lot of time left. Like I would feel very comfortable if that Drew's going to win this because they do have the lead. The question is, if he, fumbles or throws a pick, like that's where it could get a little dicey. But I still think Herbert's going to find the end zone at least once tonight.
Speaking of finding something, unfortunately, Gabe Davis did find a goose egg this week.
Yeah. Did you take a look at Luke's lineup this week?
No, but I will right now.
He can.
Hold on, I gotta continue.
You just got to look at it. It's funny. He had some bye week issues too, but not like it mattered in the long run. Like he dropped Kenneth Gainwell, and Gainwell scored like 9 points. Not a big deal, but he picked him up for Keontae Ingram, who had 8 yards rushing, and then he also a goose egg with Michael Thomas. And I went back and forth on Watson versus Dotson all morning long. I left Watson in there. I switched to Dotson about 5 minutes before the game started, and I said, no, I'm going to go with my gut. My gut was Watson, and Dotson had a nice game, but Watson, it didn't burn me because I got just enough from everyone else. Like not a very high scoring week across the board. But I'm happy to get a win, even if it's a low scoring win. That gets me to 6-3. So those 6-3 teams are going to be me, Keith, yourself, and Drew. So potentially, I still think Drew's going to get it done. So, and next week, the bye weeks are even worse next week, man. Because guess what? You have no Chiefs, you have no
Eagles,
Dolphins, and you have no Eagles. 3 teams that have stud players. Like I've already looked at my team. My lineup is full, and I have everyone else on a bye on my bench. It's hence the reason I picked up Deshaun Watson on Sunday. to get ahead of the quarterback rush.
Good for
next
you.
week.
I can't do it.
Why? You had Daniel Jones on your bench.
No Deshaun Watson for me, dog.
Yeah. Personal thing.
Yeah, I won't do it.
Yeah. Don't worry. He'll be back on the free agent next week. There's no other options. I'm not playing T-Bag. I still want to win, even if it's a 1 week thing.
You're right. I also have to pick up a quarterback, and Daniel Jones just blew up his knee. So I will be on the quarterback market with everyone else.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get ahead of the game. I had an open roster spot. So I switched it up last minute, grabbed someone for next week. So.
All right.
Next week's going to be rough.
Quick preview. I stupidly closed out the
I got it.
web page. So give me just a second. Zach, you can go ahead and preview your matchup while I get these up.
I am playing Blaster next week. Blaster has a lot of Eagles and Chiefs, so that is going to be tough for him. So it's going to be, it'll be tight.
I am playing Cole, who had a really good team at the beginning of the season, and that team has gotten a little bit worse. He does have some
He'll get some
injury
help back.
issues, but he will get a bunch of people back. I
Laporta,
still have to
Javonte,
locate a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of that, I should be all right.
Lean gets Drew. Lean's gonna have and the Rams are on a bye, so no Cooper Kupp, no Puka Nacua. So there's a lot of good players not playing this week. So yeah.
All right. Heath takes on Patrick. Patrick is surging back. Heath does not have Tyreek Hill, does not have Jake Elliott. He's gonna have to find some
Patrick no bye issues. And Lucas and Brink.
Yep.
Not much bye issues for either team.
DeAndre Swift
for him. And then we have.
I would think Lucas would be pretty well favored in this game, but you never know.
Chase did come down with an injury out of that game. So something to monitor. He took a big fall in that game. So he was listed day to day. And then obviously Brinkman would be beneficial to that because he has T. Higgins. But Brinkman's got a couple good players. I mean, they could spike at any time. So we will have to just wait and see. Brinkman's fighting for his life down now at 2-7. One more loss kind of almost puts you out. But we've seen this year it's been a lot more tight, a lot more condensed. So he still may only be about 2 games out of 8th place. So, get on a little 3 game heater. You'll be okay.
All right. Do you have the stats from the bets?
Yes, I actually have caught up on everything. So
did you notice that I updated the Google sheet that I gave you as well? Okay.
Yep.
I wasn't sure if I calculated it right or not.
Yep. I used the same formulas that you had. So
okay.
Did you look at that or no?
No. So I did not have a chance. I was going to look at it today and totally forgot.
Okay. I will give you the update on all of those. So currently this is all the bets that have been totaled up season long and weekly bets. I am ahead 9-7 overall. We have not been making as much bets as we've had in the past. We've had episodes off. We've had an episode lost. So
how did the I don't know if you explained it after I had to run out, but how did the ranking go?
Yeah. So Dalton and I did a test our metal challenge, ranking our top 12 quarterbacks and top 12 tight ends. And then for week 8 and our top 24 running backs, our top 24 wide receivers. The point totals, if you hit them right on the money, it was 5 points. 1 away, 4 points, 2 away, 3 points, 4 away, 2 points. And if they were inside the top 12 or top 24, but more than 4 away, you got 1 point. So how it worked overall, the overall score. Um, if you total up all the points, I won 88 to 78. I won
But that's not a point, right?
no, that's not a point.
It's category.
It's category. I won the quarterbacks 11 to 7.
And probably the wide receivers.
I won the running backs 37 to 30. I won the wide receivers 25 to 21, and you won the tight ends 20 to 15.
I remarkably had 2 tight ends that I
Yep.
nailed on the money. That was cool.
You nailed 1 on the money. You had a Hawkinson, but then you also, I mean, you were able to get
Taysom.
You got Taysom in there. You got Jake Ferguson in there. Evan Ingram. So you had 1 green, 1 blue, 2 purples, and a blue. So that was like you had really good point totals. I really only had Hawkinson, Laporta, Kincaid, Ingram.
So how did you take that? What was your strategy
What do you mean?
for doing the rankings? What'd you do?
I mean, I just kind of went on like who I thought had the best plays.
Okay, I literally good.
I mean, I went for like the top 12. That's how I went, like the best plays. And then I went pretty much volume base from 13 to 24, what I thought was volume.
I literally just took the consensus rankings and then dropped guys that I didn't like and added guys that I liked.
Yeah, and I that was my base list. Like the guy I liked who I used rankings for, I took his list and tweaked it how I would see it. Like my top 12 were the guys that I thought could have big games. CMC, Eckler, Gibbs, which Gibbs was the one I got really good on. Kamara, Pollard, Etienne, Hall, Taylor, Barkley, Mostert, Walker, Bijan. So guys I thought could have a nice running back 1. And out of all those, I only missed on 2, Pollard and Walker. Everyone else was a top 24, obviously. But then I went volume 13 through 24, Pacheco, Swift, Jacobs, Henry, Mixon. And then Henderson I hit, but then like 18 through 24, I missed all of them but 1. Like I had Stevenson, Madison, Chuba, Damian Pierce, James Cook, Emery DeMarcado. Like I just went guys with volume. But yeah, it was a fun little matchup, but I took 3 to 1 in that.
Unfortunate.
Yeah. But my because we had the same. What was the difference? You had more 5-pointers than me overall. You had 5.
My wide receivers was a train wreck.
Mm-hmm. But you got 2 on the money.
Yeah.
You had 5-pointers. I had 3 5-pointers. This is the difference here. You had 2 4-pointers, so only 1 away. I had 8 4-pointers. 3-pointers.
That's really good.
3-pointers. You had 3. I had 5. 2-pointers. You did better with like 3 away. You got 8 2-pointers. I got 3 2-pointers, and we both hit the same amount of 1-pointers, 20 apiece. So yeah.
All right.
It was a fun little exercise.
How did the spread bets turn out for this week? I can't even remember.
You went 2-1 this week. You had, let me go back to my other Google sheet.
I had the Steelers.
No, you had the Chiefs -2.5 and the Packers -3. I had Cincinnati -3.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I also gambled on the Bills because I was like, there's no way they're going to lose by more than 3, and then they lost by 6. That was weird. That was a trap game for Vegas.
Yeah. And that 9-7 includes your win with the Taylor Heineke.
That does include that. What other season-long bets do we have alive right now?
The only other ones we have right now is the top better seed in the playoffs, Eagles versus 49ers. And you're leading that one right now. You have Eagles, I have 49ers.
Okay. All right. And what are your bets for this week?
As you know, I am never prepared. I'm just always flying by the seat of my pants at the moment. Is that you? Me?
What
Oh, my phone's playing music. Elliot's playlist. I was like, where's that music coming from?
did you see the big baseball news today?
No.
The Brewers manager, Craig
Oh,
Counsell,
going to the
it
Cubs.
was
I
announced he
did
was
see
going to
that.
move on, and he unseated David Ross as the Cubbies manager and is now the manager of the Cubs, and he's making big money.
Yeah.
$8 million a year to manage that team.
How about them Rangers though, dude?
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah.
First World Series victory in franchise history.
Mm-hmm. Man, my DraftKings is not loading. Let me try my computer.
Have you watched the Johnny Manziel Untold yet?
No.
It is on my list. I have not watched it yet either. I normally just pull up ESPN because they have the
Yeah.
spreads sitting right there.
Yeah.
But it's
Well,
up to you.
it's not the. I want the current. I guess they usually have them, but current. That's just my internet's going slow, so I'm surprised I haven't dropped the call yet. So.
Imagine that.
Mm-hmm. I haven't logged into DraftKings in so long. It's having me do a two-factor on my computer, at least. I haven't played any bets, man. I have been not in the betting market.
It's been rough. Premier League
Usually,
has been screwing me this year.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Let me take a quick browse.
I actually don't know the score of the game that's on right now. It is currently 17-6. Chargers have the ball, 2 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the third quarter. Commercial break.
Do you want to know what the Dallas spread is against the Giants?
Well, I can look at it. It's probably like 21.
It's 15 and a half.
ESPN says 16.5. Yuck.
Okay.
The Giants' hope is that Tyrod Taylor comes back in the minimum amount of time.
Yeah. All right. There's a lot of ugly games on here. Let's stick with our theme here. We'll go Frankfurt game. We have Colts 1.5-point favorites against the Patriots.
Colts.
Patriots. Okay. I will take the 1.5.
I'm not gambling on that one, but I will take the Colts.
I'm going to take the team that has a better defense. That's
What's
the
the over
theory.
under?
43.5, which I'd smash the under.
Probably the under.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 31. Okay, and then let's see. Where do I want to take my
Why does it feel like the Packers and Steelers play each other every week?
Packers and Steelers? Yeah, I don't want anything to do with that game. I'm trying, maybe I'm trying not to screw you too bad.
I mean,
What's the name of the game for the second one?
yeah, we're playing fuck your neighbor, basically.
Yeah, I know. The one on the end kind of like you're good either way, but the one in the middle, you just kind of get to pick the one that you want.
Right.
I don't know if I should do this, but I'm going to take the Saints 2.5-point favorites over Minnesota.
All right. I'll take the fighting Joshua Dobbs.
And we're going to do this one. I'll give it you have the first pick. Seattle is our 6-point favorites at home against Washington.
Washington.
Damn, I thought you'd take Seattle. I'll take Seattle though.
I really thought about it. 6 is too many.
Yeah, well, I'll take Seattle. That's fine.
You know what's a trap game? San Francisco's only a 3-point favorite against the Jaguars. I
Mhm.
feel like the Jags at home might do that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we got our bets there. Okay. If you were to bet on the Dallas game, would you lay the 15.5? The over under is only 39, by the way.
Um, I think if you do, you're thinking it's like a 24-3 game, which I think is very doable. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you have to do the spread because that Dallas defense is just disgusting.
Yeah. Minus 1,000 in the money line.
You know what? I will put $1 on that. Say Dallas will win by the spread,
Yeah. That's the,
which is 15.5 on my DraftKings right now. So I'm gonna put it on there.
yeah, 15.5.
It's plus 110 or minus 110 for 15.5.
Yeah. They're all minus 110.
I should have moved the spread to 20.
The Seattle is minus 115. Interesting. All right.
I think you can only move the spread when you're doing I don't know.
All right. Drew is officially ahead by 0.2.
It's still not over then because an interception means it's over.
Yeah.
So
You still have the fourth quarter to go.
Vegas thinks that Dallas is going to score 27 points.
Mm-hmm. So they're saying 27-12.
Yep.
12 points is generous.
All right.
But maybe Tommy DeVito will actually get it done this week because he's actually gonna have a full week of first team reps rather than being thrown in. But
I wouldn't count on it.
if so, you better bet the money line. That's where you'll make your money.
All right. This was an episode.